When we watch a young child begin to read, we often focus on the most visible part of the process, sounding out the words on the page: cat, run, see. While this is a critical and exciting milestone, it is only the first step on a much longer and more profound journey. True reading is not simply the act of vocalizing words, it is the act of constructing meaning. The ultimate goal of all reading instruction is to empower a child to understand, interpret, and learn from written text. The printed words are merely the vessel. The ideas, stories, and information they carry are the real treasure. Decades of research have given us a clear picture of what it takes to become a skilled reader. This complex ability can be broken down into 3 core domains. These are word recognition, language comprehension, strategic knowledge. Instruction must address and develop all 3 areas. They're deeply intertwined. Weakness in one affects the others. Understanding these components helps teachers diagnose and support students. First pillar, word recognition, the foundation. It covers everything needed to lift words off the page accurately and automatically. Begins with the most basic concepts, learning the names of the letters, learning the sounds they represent. Then phonics, how letters and combinations map to sounds. Children learn common letter patterns and eventually read many words by sight. Effortless word recognition frees mental resources for comprehension. Between the pillar of word recognition and the ultimate goal of comprehension lies a critical bridge: reading fluency. Fluency is often misunderstood as simply reading fast, but it's more nuanced and far more important. True fluency is composed of 3 elements: accuracy. Accuracy means reading the words correctly. Rate refers to reading at an appropriate conversational speed, not too fast and not too slow. Prosody is the most crucial and often overlooked element. It is reading with expression, phrasing, and intonation, much like speaking. It involves pausing at commas, pausing at periods, raising one's voice for a question. Fluency directly impacts a reader's ability to comprehend. Learning to read is not a single event, but a developmental process that unfolds in predictable stages over several years. Just as a child learns to roll over, learns to crawl, learns to walk, they also move through stages toward proficient reading. Recognizing these stages is crucial. For teachers, it helps them know where a student is, anticipate next steps, and provide instruction matched to current needs. Rushing a child or teaching too advanced material can cause frustration and gaps. In the emergent stage, children develop foundational concepts about print. Print carries a message we read from left to right, top to bottom. A word is a unit separated by spaces. They begin to recognize letters and may know some letter sounds. Reading is shared experiences with books, listening to read-alouds, playful engagement with letters and sounds. When a child reads in a slow, laboured, word-by-word manner, their working memory is consumed by decoding. They are so focused on each word, they have no capacity left to string words into a coherent thought, follow the plot, grasp the main idea. Their reading becomes choppy and disconnected, and meaning is lost. Conversely, when a child reads fluently, word recognition is largely automatic. Their eyes glide across the page, words are identified with minimal effort. Automaticity frees cognitive resource, allowing focus on meaning. They can think about characters' motivations, visualize the setting, connect the author's ideas to their own knowledge. Reading with proper prosody, expression, and phrasing helps group words into meaningful chunks, which is itself comprehension. To guide a child effectively on this journey, we must recognize that reading is not a single skill, but a multifaceted ability. It requires the seamless integration of several different kinds of knowledge. Imagine trying to build a house. You need a foundation, walls, and a roof, and all parts must work together for the structure to be sound. Similarly, a proficient reader relies on a set of interconnected skills that must be developed in concert. Teaching reading, therefore, is not about finding a single magic bullet, but about systematically and explicitly building each of these essential components, ensuring that no single part is neglected in the process of instruction. The most effective reading instruction, then, is that which keeps the end goal of meaning making at the forefront of every lesson. Even when teaching the alphabet, we can talk about how these letters will eventually build words that tell us amazing stories or teach us interesting facts. This approach helps children understand the why behind their learning from the very beginning. It frames the hard work of learning phonics and memorizing sight words not as a chore, but as the exciting process of cracking a code. The purpose is always clear. We are learning these skills so that we can unlock the world of ideas that awaits us in books. The true value of an assessment like the DRA lies not in the score or level it produces, but in how a teacher uses that information to make instructional decisions. The data gathered from the DRA provides a roadmap for helping each child take their next step as a reader. For example, in the very early levels, from A to 3, the assessment focuses heavily on foundational skills. The teacher might observe whether a child can point to words one by one, knows the difference between a letter and a word, and uses the pictures to help tell the story. The goal is to see if the child has grasped the basic concepts of print. Based on the detailed information from the assessment, a teacher can implement a variety of supportive practices in the classroom. One of the most powerful strategies is the formation of small, flexible reading groups. A teacher might gather a few students who, according to their DRA results, are all struggling with decoding words with short vowel sounds. The teacher can then conduct a short, focused lesson with that group, directly teaching that specific skill using texts at their instructional level. These groups are not static, as students master skills and their needs change. The groups are rearranged, ensuring that instruction is always timely and relevant. Furthermore, the DRA results empower teachers to match students with appropriate books for guided instruction independent reading time. Providing a child with books that are too difficult leads to frustration and reinforces poor reading habits, while books that are too easy do not promote growth. The DRA helps teachers find that sweet spot where a text is challenging enough to require some effort, but not so difficult that it overwhelms the reader. This practice of matching books to readers is essential for building confidence, stamina, a love of reading. It ensures that every reading experience is a successful and productive one. It is critical to remember, however, that the DRA is just one tool among many. A complete picture of a child's reading ability should also include other forms of assessment such as phonics surveys, writing samples, and most importantly, daily classroom observations. A wise teacher uses all of this information together to understand the whole child. When a student is struggling, the response should be evidence-based and targeted. By systematically identifying the specific area of difficulty and providing explicit instruction and guided practice, we can help nearly every child become a confident, capable reader whose primary goal is always the joyful pursuit of meaning. The journey from letters to meaning is what transforms a child into a lifelong learner.